Voices in the dark. When the lights went out, Stanley Dixon heard footsteps and soft voices.
Joe, is the picture on the desk?
No, it isn't. It's on a small table near the window.
What are you doing?
I'm looking for the switch. I can't see anything. I'll turn on the light.
Stop talking nonsense. Have you found the picture?
No, I haven't. It's very dark. May I use my torch, Henry?
Yes, you may. But be careful. Have you found the small table?
Yes, I have. Here's the picture.
Put it in this briefcase. Fred, what are you doing?
He's eating as usual.
I found a lot of sandwiches. They're very good.
Don't eat them now. We must hurry. Let's go.
Will Oliver be outside the gate?
No. He'll be 2 blocks further on.
Are we going to drive straight to the station?
Stan heard them leave the study. He was so surprised he couldn't move. Suddenly the lights went on, and the guests returned to the study one after the other. He stayed behind the curtain. "The Leonardo," he heard. "It's gone. Somebody has stolen it. Oh dear." And then a deep voice said, "Silence, please. Will you be quiet? Could you stop talking for a minute, please? My name's Inspector Milligan from Scotland Yard. I want to ask a few questions." Slowly, everybody stopped shouting and talking. "Does anyone know who stayed here after the shots?" There was no answer. "Can anyone tell me if there was somebody in the study while the lights were out?" Now Stan made up his mind, stepped out from behind the curtain and came forward. "I can."
Stan reports the conversation.
So there were 3 of them. Henry the boss, Joe the gardener, and Fred.
That's right.
Can you repeat their conversation word for word? Everything is important.
Yes, I can. I can remember every word of it. First, Henry asked Joe if the picture was on the desk. Joe told him that it wasn't. He said it was on a small table near the window. Then Henry asked him what he was doing. Joe said he was looking for the switch because he couldn't see anything. He told Henry he'd turn on the light. Henry told him to stop talking nonsense and asked him if he had found the picture. Joe said he hadn't. He said it was very dark. Then he asked Henry if he might use his torch. Henry told him he might and ordered him to be careful. Then he asked if he'd found the small table. Joe said he had and that the picture was there. Henry told him to put it in the briefcase. Then he asked Fred what he was doing. Joe said Fred was eating as usual. Fred told them he'd found a lot of sandwiches and they were very good. Henry told him not to eat them and suggested going. Fred asked if Oliver would be outside the gate. Henry said he wouldn't. He'd be 2 blocks further on. They were about to leave when Fred asked if they were going to drive straight to the station. They went out and I couldn't hear Henry's answer.
Thank you, Mr. Dixon. You've been most helpful. Now I know who they are and where we can find them.
Mr. Lee, Inspector Milligan, and Stanley Dixon were sitting in the study. The door was shut. The other guests were in the garden and the other rooms. Mrs. Lee was with them. Fortunately, thought Stan. She was trying to save the party. Now Mr. Lee offered a large reward. He said he'd pay £500 to the person who'd get the Leonardo back. Milligan told him that the 4 gangsters were going to Spain the following day, and he'd go there too to catch them in Barcelona. Stanley offered the inspector his help. Milligan thought the gardener would recognize the voices of the gangsters. He accepted his offer and asked him to come to Barcelona. Then Milligan had to make a number of phone calls to arrange everything. While he was on the phone, Mr. Lee asked Stan if he'd got a new job. Stan said he hadn't. Mr. Lee felt sorry for him. He said he had a friend in Barcelona, a Mr. Pickup, and he'd give Stan a reference to give to him. He told Stan to take down his friend's address. Then he wrote the reference, took an envelope from his desk, put in the letter, closed it, and gave it to Stan.
Packing. When Stan left the study, he thought he would try to find Dick and ask him for his £30. Then he'd go home and pack. He wondered what his wife would say about the journey to Spain. She wouldn't be very happy about it. Stan was still holding the reference in his hand when he knocked on Dick's door. "Who's that?" asked Dick. "It's me, Stanley Dixon," Stan said. "Just my luck," thought Dick. "He's come for his money. What shall I do? I can't let him in." He was standing in the middle of his room, which was in a terrible mess. His suitcase was on the bed on top of the bedclothes. It was full of clothes and other things for the journey. There were some dirty socks on the table. His trousers were on the carpet with 2 towels on top of them. Near the suitcase on the bed was an empty teacup with a toothbrush and a comb in it. His hairbrush was between 2 clean shirts, and there was a pair of clean socks on a saucer on a chair. When Stan knocked, he was just looking for a safe place to put the envelope with the Leonardo in it. "Wait a minute," he shouted. "I'm coming." Perhaps he'll leave me alone if I offer him £10, he thought. But then I'll have to ask Gwen for some more money. He opened the door, came out, and shut it carefully behind him. He was still holding the envelope in his hand.